Welcome to the podcast, Organized Mayhem. We're coming to you from 110 South 11th Street, which is the home of Morea and the Rap Shack. And we are here to talk to you about all things Philadelphia restaurant business and everything in between. I'm Cammie, here with my brother Scott and my friend John Lupa. There we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Cammie. I'm joined, as always, with my brother Scott and my dear friend John Lupa. Today, we do have a special guest, but before we get into that, let's say where we are once again, just in case somebody forgets. Go ahead, Lupa. Where are you?
We are at 112 South 11th Street, Morea, and 110 South 11th Street, Rap Shack.
Excellent. Scott, you have anything to add at the top?
Nope. Just follow us on all your favorite podcasts.
Yes, watch us live on YouTube.
Live on YouTube.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay. We love YouTube. I'm a big fan of YouTube, especially Lupa's losing weight.
Right. I think it's because I'm weighing.
Yeah.
Watching
I am not losing weight, but I like to say I am. Yeah.
Well, when you get a haircut, maybe you lose a couple pounds. You did get a nice haircut.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Got a haircut.
Yeah. Not on the top. I'm just doing the side. I'm looking good.
Okay, well, we have a special guest today, so we don't want to waste anyone's time. And our special guest today is Matt. Hi, Matt. Welcome to Organized Mayhem.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Nice to have you. So, Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself. So, are you a Philly native as my brother and I, born and raised outside of Philly? We love Philly. We love Philly sports. We love Philly restaurants. We love Philly, Philly, Philly. What about you? Are you a Philly guy?
Very much. I was born and raised in Wynwood, Lower Merion area.
Mm-hmm.
Went to high school with Kobe. He was a year older.
So
Some history there. I think everyone knows who he is. And I've lived in Philadelphia, in the city proper, since 2004. So almost 20 years now. So definitely Philly person, 4 for 4 sports. Love the city.
Yep. Love the city. We definitely wouldn't want to move somewhere like Atlanta.
Ugh. I can't even say 4 for 4 sports.
Listen, when you're from Philly, you love Philly. There's too much to love about Philly, right? We love it. And so have you always been I know you're not in the you are essentially in the restaurant bar business, right? Have you always been in this business?
No, I got my start here in Philly working for Philadelphia Weekly, alternative news weekly.
Yeah, sure.
So I did advertising sales for them for about 8 years and saw the newspaper industry dying a little bit. And I was a huge craft beer fan. So found that opportunity that newspaper was going like this, craft beer was going like this.
Yep.
Good time to make a switch. And I was fortunate enough to get hired by a beer wholesaler called Shangy's Beer Distributor. And I worked for them in the city for 3.5 years selling craft beer of all kinds. And that's when I met Scott.
Awesome. So Shangy's, is that a storefront? Is it what is it?
It's a smaller craft-only beer distributor. They also have a retail location up in Emmaus, Allentown area. But I was a Philadelphia rep for a good amount of years from 2012 to 2015. So that's when I met Scott at the Rap Shack over the original location.
I was wondering, as a distributor or like a rep, are you drinking a ton of craft beer all the time?
It happens. You're doing some samples, maybe one at lunch, mostly during events, because back then craft beer wasn't as ubiquitous as it is today. So there was a ton of education.
Right.
I was heavily involved with Philly Beer Week. I sold a lot of bars and restaurants and breweries into that. So one of the main goals was education there. And the more people who tried it, do events, you're trying it, but you're not trying to drink during the day when you're driving around selling.
I guess so.
And do you primarily distribute to Philly restaurants?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Is Philadelphia their primary distribution?
For us now or for then? Back then.
For you guys now?
Oh, for now, yeah. The suburbs, Philly, 5 counties, but we're stretched into Lancaster, up in Lehigh Valley. And we started in March in South Jersey in 8 counties, but we're mostly focusing on the Philadelphia 5 counties now and trying to expand slowly.
All right, so just real question about you and the business. What do you love about the business?
So Top Dog Cocktails for me, not only do we have a new product that I enjoy, but obviously the big thing for everyone is the relationships in the business. For me, that's it. I mean, we drink to socialize and have a good time and get to know everyone. And so I think having the good relationships with people, to me, is the most important. And when you get to enjoy something that helps lubricate everything, get things going, makes it a really fun thing to do. And that's what I appreciate most about it.
So as somebody who's not a beer drinker, if you were to sell me, if you were going to say, Cammie, you might not be a beer drinker, but you're going to try Top Dog. Like, what would you tell me? How would you tell me to try it? With food, without food, in a bar setting?
I would say you're in luck because there's not beer. These are cocktails, which is good. So yeah, so the big thing for me was when I made the switch away from
so
beer.
you now switch from craft to cocktails.
So I'm out of the beer business in the craft cocktail business.
Okay.
So
Then I would have a craft cocktail.
So for us, Top Dog Cocktails, we are PA-produced, spirit-based, ready-to-drink canned craft cocktails. It might be a bit of a mouthful, but I think it explains perfectly what we are. So we're made here in PA. I think you would love these cocktails because they're 12.5% each. So real cocktail strength, we say 2 in a can. We have 4 different flavors. And the big thing is you don't have to make it. You can just crack a can, pour it over ice and drink it, or drink from the can yourself. But we're doing all the work for you. What we saw, especially during the pandemic and the rise of RTDs, ready to drink cocktails, is that most people, not these guys, but most people at home don't know how to make a good cocktail, nor do they want to, or they want to buy a bunch of different liquors and mixers and bottles. And after you make the first one, do you want to make a second? Are you ready? With this, you can have 3 different liquors. We have 2 vodka, we got 1 tequila, 1 whiskey. So we have different options for different people, and it's simple and it's convenient, no fuss, super easy for at-home consumption at the bars if there's, a crowd.
Well, I was saying on the beach too, like when
outdoor.
I mean, outdoor beach when when I used to when I go to Margate that often anymore, but when I do, it's just a lot easier than just bringing a bunch of different liquors to the beach.
So you can throw us in the cooler with some beers, with some seltzers or anything else. You have some ice there, obviously, but it's super easy. Again, there's no glass, nothing to worry about. We're infinitely recyclable. 8-pack's a nice size. We say 2 drinks to a can, just to remind people that we're not like a 4.5% seltzer or an easy drinker like that. While our drinks go down easy, we're trying to remind people, sip them, take your time. Certainly you can have a can by itself. Like for instance, we're for sale outdoors at the Man Music Center. Instead of a 25-ounce Budweiser or Bud Light that gets warm at the end, you get a nice cocktail for roughly the same price and get about 2 to 3 times the buzz. Less trips to the bathroom because there's less liquid, more time for enjoyment and better tasting. So there's a time and a place for us. Not going to be for everyone everywhere, but we try and have universal appeal as much as we can.
Well, this is getting going. I think we have to try one.
I mean, I would say that's like having a bartender in a bottle.
It is. For us, we say craft cocktails to get your tail wagging. I'm sorry, we pre-poured some ice here.
No problem.
We'll clear
So let me ask you which one we should try. I'm going to tell you about them real quick. We have our 2 vodka-based ones. We have the Greyhound with the Greyhound drawing on it. Greyhound's traditionally vodka grapefruit, as I'm sure you know, but
That would be mine. Okay, go ahead.
We add our touch of rosemary and elderflower to it to make a distinct cocktail. All our cocktails at least 3 ingredients. It's not just flavor and that. We have white peach and mango tea with a vodka. It's a black tea with a touch of lemon. We have our agave base, which is, tequila, blood orange margarita with a touch of lime. And then our whiskey lemonade, a touch of orange liqueur. So we have a whiskey, a tequila, and 2 vodka base.
Am I allowed to choose for the boys, or are the boys going to tell me what they want?
For us, we'll drink whatever.
Yeah, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, so if it was me and I was there, I would go with number 1. What's behind door number 1, which is grapefruit and vodka, and I want to hear how it is. So you're going to serve it chilled.
Yep, we got some ice here. It's all you really need to do. Let me grab one of those over here.
Yeah.
Let me join you.
All right, well, this is no fun. I'm having an iced coffee.
I love it.
So the Greyhound here.
This is very refreshing.
It is.
Yeah.
It smells refreshing. Cheers, guys.
So you smell it right away, right? When it's open, you get the grapefruit.
Oh, this is the
rosemary.
first one that I've had where you can taste the liquor.
So
That's amazing.
awesome.
Wow.
I'm glad you're digging it.
I love the flavor.
The flavor's really good.
Absolutely.
Oh,
So
Scott and John, is this on both menus? Is this both at Morea and Rap Shack?
not yet.
Not yet, but that's why we
soon.
that's why we have Matt here.
We decided that we were going to do first trial on air.
Yeah.
and
Wow.
On
see
air
what we
first
can
trial.
do.
Okay.
It was
Well,
like
I mean, let me ask you a question, Matt. Do you usually get your customers drunk so that they can make a knowledgeable decision about the
We'll
product?
take 100 cases.
No,
It's smart marketing by that.
Genius.
It's brilliant marketing.
we want people to sip and enjoy. Our director of sales, Justin Noss, is out there all the time getting people going and trying it. But, we're a small company, just 4 people. So we're always doing our best everyone's got to wear many hats and sell things. So, we think of a few sips, a small pour of each. If you go through all 4, you'll have a full cocktail and a half, probably, depending on how you're trying it. But it's enough to get your tail wagging, as they say, get you going.
All right, because I'm not there, Scott, if you were to describe the flavor, you're not doing marketing for him. This is totally authentic, and this is like a true customer taste test. It doesn't have to be your favorite one. I don't know if this is the one that you would choose.
I taste the grapefruit and the elderflower, so it has a great feel to it. Like really what you want to look for I think with a cocktail like this is the aftertaste, because your first sip you're having a drink, but then when you sit back and you taste it. So I like grapefruit. I like elderflower. It really has a nice.
Now, Scott, is it the kind of thing that I would, so for me, who likes a very watered down cocktail, can you taste the vodka?
I'm going to be honest, yes. And for somebody who likes a canned drink where I've never been able to taste the booze in it once, and it almost gives me a headache. This feels like this is actually a cocktail.
You would love this, Cammie, because you would probably have a half of this, and that would be it for you for the night.
For sure.
And you know what?
For sure.
With these canned drinks, it's kind of nice because if somebody like yourself, Cammie, it's like too strong, pour a little Sprite over it or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
You can add a lot of ice to water it down.
Yeah.
What do people? That's a good question though. For like these cocktails, they put in the glass and they want to add like tonic, or what do you see that people add to it, or do they not add to it?
Usually they're enjoying it as it is. The ice can help out, but if people want, I know grapefruit and seltzer is pretty popular. So a splash of seltzer is usually good. Yep. Usually not as much in tonic, but a little seltzer, a little Sprite if you want a little bubbles for it.
What color is it, Scott? I can't tell the color.
So it's tough to tell, and in some of our newer ones, it's a little bit more. It's got like this palest pink hue to it. Yep. The pink fades slightly over time just because we're using natural ingredients. Everything's all natural, nothing artificial. But we're always working to improve it and get things a little bit better. So I think here you see the little bit of the lightest pink. So we're always playing with it a little bit more. But what we want to do and have that distinction is that we're not seltzer, and it's a little bit different. Right. So if you'll see when we open the blood orange, this is going to be a bright blood orange color. Okay. So
and let me ask you a question. Like, should they are they drinking it out of the right glass? Do you suggest a martini glass? Like, what do you drink it out of?
I think these rocks glasses are fine. If you want to do a martini glass, you can certainly do it. Whatever floats your boat.
We're high class over here. We got these specialty ice cubes now.
We should drop one in.
We're going to drop one in. We're going to. Let's do it.
All right, I think we should taste test the next one.
Yeah, but do you have the craft ice?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
We have this.
Well, this is a fun show.
I know, right?
So
by the way, I'm working tonight all night, so this is gonna be a hoot.
So I'll just throw it out here. We're in the variety 8-pack, so you get 2 of all 4 cans. For us, it's a big deal because we're in the fine wine and good spirit stores, which is the PA Liquor Control Board stores. So if you want,
but what happens if you like one flavor?
If you want one flavor, if you're in Pennsylvania, we'll do home delivery. You can order a case right to your house. We'll deliver usually in a couple of days, depending on the routing. Not same day, but we'll be there quick enough. You get a great price. You get a 24 of a single flavor if you like.
How much is it? How much is the case of 24?
Yeah, we do. We do a case. We sell them like that, or the variety pack. So this is $29.99 in the state store, which is absolutely the best bang for your buck out there if you're looking for alcohol to value. Since some of the seltzer competitors with their 8-packs are $19.99, but they're 4.5%. We're $29.99 and 12.5%. So you'd have to buy almost 2.5, and then you're at $50-some instead of $30. So in terms of that, I think where you'll see that the bang for your buck, the real alcohol content, all these things make us distinct and different. That's where we're going for a different niche, a little higher end, just like Morea, high-end craft cocktail bar.
All right. So before we continue, guys, including Matt, I don't want anyone to tell me what your favorite is until the end.
Done.
All right.
Done.
Okay.
I'm gonna pour this blood
make a little mental note.
I was talking about the color.
Oh, it actually looks a lot better.
Make a little mental note, like, okay, what are we trying next?
This is the blood orange.
So we have the blood orange margarita. So I don't know how much I want to pour here, but
I'm off today, man. Go for it.
I'm working, but it's all right. I'm not cooking.
All right, little cheers, everybody. Cheers to good health.
Cheers.
Fine. So as you can see, we got blood orange margarita. So we say agave, but real tequila.
Good flavor.
Good flavor again. How we doing?
That's a great flavor.
That is a great flavor.
Awesome.
Okay, so what did
And
now?
we have our individual little dogs drawing on each, hence Top Dog Cocktail.
I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Are these dogs like specific to you guys? Like, do you have like that dog or anyone in your company?
Not right now. There is a local artist named Patricia Carlin who did the drawings for us and worked with our designer, Alex, another local guy, to do these. She specializes in dog drawings, and we went through a whole series of trying to figure out.
We have to touch on that a little bit more.
Go into that a little bit.
Specializes in dog drawings.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
How does that?
We're animal lovers. My brother and I are huge animal lovers. We have lots of dogs between us.
So yes, I mean, she's on Instagram, Etsy, a bunch of things like that. She works also with White Dog Cafe and
Love White Dog.
stuff with them, and we partnered with them early on too, doing some drinks. So we actually had in the beginning these cans. We kind of did a special label for them, exact same can except it said White Dog Cafe, and we were sold in their stores at the Fearless Restaurant Group. So we were in about 8 or 9 locations with them, and they helped kick us off and show that, we can do well in a restaurant, not just for home consumption.
Yeah.
And people will buy a nice price cocktail as long as it tastes good. And I think we're proving
Yeah,
that
it's
it's
really
tasting
Now,
good.
my question for you is, obviously, I have 2 concepts here. I have one that's more cocktail lounge, and then I have the Rap Shack. Are you finding it more of your niche is the Rap Shack, or is it both, or is it?
I would wonder if these would do better at high end because, like, the person that doesn't want to spend $18 on a cocktail can get this for a better price and it still has a good flavor. Or yeah,
I think that a lot of that depends on each restaurant's own philosophy and their pricing and what they want to do. Like, I think just based on what you said, this would fit better at the Rap Shack because it's not necessarily known for cocktails. It's more for beer and everything. And then this is an easy, simple thing that people can get behind and understand the can and so forth. Well, I think part of the experience here is watching the bartender make some of it and so forth. But I mean, we have garnishes suggested on here, and you can gloss it up and make it look good. And I think it would fit in just perfectly, but it might not register in the same way for the client. But we're in a ton of breweries. We're in a bunch of bars and restaurants. We're in wineries. We're in cideries. We're at concert venues, sporting places. So it's versatile. It's just a question of what you think makes sense for it.
right.
Now, I have a question about so like anytime someone comes in here, beer rap or anything like that, I'm always like, what does this compare it to? What other brands? What other brands on the market? Because it's a higher end cocktail. Like it doesn't seem like it fits the Surfside or any of that because
I think it stands out a little bit.
Or it stands out, and that's why you did that, or is it like?
Yeah, we're trying to do something, I think, a little bit different. We're trying to play in that niche, the higher ABV, where there isn't a lot of high-end cocktails. So much it's just like the race to the bottom, the low ABV, the low calorie, 4.5%, let's sell a ton. I think for us, it's more about the experience. You're only having a couple. People enjoy that. It's more of a slow down thing. If you're asking for a competitor, someone like Cutwater Spirits is probably the closest, if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
They were a smaller company. They got bought by Anheuser-Busch recently. They are available. They do make higher end cocktails. Theirs just tend to be very sweet, like a lot of sugar flavor. Ours are lower in the sugar. The way I look at it, you can always add more sugar to it. You can't take it out. So you can always make something a little sweeter, add a little simple syrup or sugar. So for instance, our iced tea is not going to be sweet like a Twisted Tea or a Surfside. It'll be a little bit easier, a little bit more palatable. And then if you don't think it's sweet enough, you can just add a little. So that makes it easy.
Do you like Surfsides?
I do on the beach.
I know you do, but to me, I don't like the taste either. I think it's sweet.
I don't mind it.
Bring it up. Like, it's like weird.
So I have to ask you,
What
Kevin, you
people,
probably
each own.
didn't know this, and John, you probably didn't know this either. But Matt's father is one of the coolest guys around. Every time I used to have an event with Matt, his father would show up.
Mm-hmm.
Which one does he like the best?
He's probably the whiskey lemonade guy.
I can't wait. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, so my dad, Neil Satten, he's a big drinker, big wine guy, likes the finer things. So honestly, he'd prefer his whiskey straight, but if he has a chance, the whiskey lemonade is his way.
How many calories are in each one?
I knew that was
Good
I knew that was coming.
So the way I like to answer this is each point of alcohol is worth roughly 20 calories. So if you have a 4.5% seltzer, you're going to get your 100 calories, right? And you think, I'm not drinking too much, right? So we're at 12.5%. So you're thinking, that's closer to 250. Sounds like a lot more. But then if you're drinking 12.5, you'd have to drink 2.5 of the other cans. You have 4.5, 9 to get to 12.5. All of a sudden you're drinking 250 calories and a lot more liquid, and you can be bloated. Now, we don't want a bloated stomach necessarily.
No.
And they're carbonated, all those bubbles.
Nope,
So,
no thank
yeah, for here, we got the.
That's a good answer. That's a practice
you.
answer. He's answered this question before.
Yeah. Great.
So it's the same as any other spirit in terms of the alcohol content. But if you're looking at a whole can, you're probably looking at around 250 to 300, because we do have some other ingredients that do bring calories into it. But in terms of it being like a low calorie, no, because we're not low ABV. We're full flavored, full body. But the thing that I always say is,
what did you say?
How many people ask for calories here at Morea when they're getting a drink?
Nobody.
Zero.
No, I mean, I would just say for me, like, so that doesn't scare me off, because I would probably, as Scott would say, I'd probably have 2 total, like 2. I'd have like one would last me a whole night. 1 can would last me a whole night.
And that's fine.
What was it? It was 100 calories. It's 20 calories per
point of alcohol is usually the scale that most people go. So
I got a question for you. Am I supposed to know that?
I know. I don't know why.
Well, if you want to lose weight, maybe. Okay, well, back up. Last
I
time,
definitely did not know that.
Scott, you answered what it tasted like. You described the taste last time. Lupa, let me give it to you this time. How would you describe the taste and flavor of this can?
Well, you know what?
Of the blood orange margarita first?
Yes.
I give you the blood orange. To me, listen, if I go to, I'm from Atlanta. We love our Mexican restaurants, and oftentimes we drink margaritas. It's right on par with a good margarita that you get at a nice place, at a nicer Mexican restaurant. It is. You can taste the flavors are better. It's not that super sugary, like sweet flavor. The tequila really, it's subtle, but it's there, and I think that's what most people want.
And if you wanted to, you could salt or sugar the rim before you poured it, and then it's the same thing. Throw a little lime wedge on there. You're good to go.
And guys, food wise, okay, so like if you're right now we've tried 2. Is that what we've tried? We've tried the grapefruit.
It's funny that you mentioned food wise. I was sorry to interrupt, but I was thinking I could go for a taco right now.
I was thinking salsa. It literally hit my head when I was drinking.
Terrific. So what you would pair on the menu right now, what would you eat with each cocktail? Scott, do you want to start with what you would eat with each cocktail, what you would eat with the grapefruit, and what you would eat with the margarita? Well, taco we know for the margarita.
Yes.
All right, so wait, which one's this?
This is our white peach and mango tea. It's a black tea. It's got a touch of lemon, and this is the second vodka-based drink that you have.
Please don't take this offensively, but it tastes like those big cans of Arnold Palmer's. It's like people love those. It's delicious.
I like this one.
Yeah. You like this one?
I actually do.
You are into that tea flavor.
The peach and tea.
Like
so what I would say is, if you wanted a true Arnold Palmer, that we know is 50% lemonade, 50% tea. So we can make an Arnie Palmy. At least that's what my grandmother used to call Arnie. So Arnie Palmies is what I call it when we mix them. Or if you wanted to mix these two, the blood orange margarita and the Greyhound, we can have a bloodhound, and that's fun. So if you guys don't mind sipping something that has already been sipped by me, here you have I'll give it a little shake.
Yeah.
Here you have what we call a bloodhound, which was great for Halloween, or if you have a theme party or something. So you got the Greyhound together with that.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's good.
So you can play with the drinks too, even with what we have here.
All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So the last one. Okay, so what are we drinking now? So far we've had the margarita, we've had the grapefruit, and now we're kind of combining.
So we got the peach and mango tea, which is, so you got the equal flavor of the peach and the mango mixing together. Again, not too sweet, right?
No,
if you wanted, you could add simple syrup to this. You could doctor it up.
I'm not a huge margarita guy, so
You're a big tea guy. Though.
I am a
That's
big tea
funny.
guy.
Like I
Oh,
love.
your tell is already that that's your favorite, but okay, that's fine.
And we can see the
Did
color.
I tell you how much I like this one?
Yeah.
And we can see the color, brown. Again, these aren't seltzers; they're real cocktails, so they look like them, they taste like them, they are. And the ice, I think, is great too. Shout out,
Really.
Philadelphia Ice Company, right?
Exactly. How'd you know
Right?
that?
Yeah. Well, we talked about
No,
okay.
Noah Sokolov. He's
Exactly.
we work in the business. We have friends, and
That's
Noah
right.
does-
That's crazy.
And that's what I love about everything.
You
I
know
love,
that you're right.
I love the local connections. I love that, when we support local.
And so the last one's the whiskey lemonade. I don't know how we want to do it. If you want to clear it.
No,
All
no.
right. So this will pour lemonade color. You can see, we have this bright light, but
Yeah,
it
it's
is
yellow.
lemonade.
Yeah.
If you want to do it. So
Another ice cube over there for me.
look at this.
Look at
That's
this.
Wow.
I'll take one. So this one is our sales manager Justin's favorite. I would say Joanna, our CEO, Joanna Manzo. She knows that the teas do really well. She likes this. We all like all four. It's kind of like what time and place are we in? What mood are we in?
Right.
So we have options. But here, whiskey lemonade, you don't see. The big thing for us is we have 2 vodka drinks, but we also have a tequila drink and a whiskey drink. And what you don't see at RTD is a lot of the time are whiskey drinks and tequila drinks, mostly because they're much more expensive to make.
Mm-hmm.
And vodka is the most popular flavor, but we see these are on the rise. Tequila is definitely on the rise. Whiskey is on the rise. So I think we're in here early. I think we got a chance to
Yes, guys.
taste this.
All right, taste away, guys.
I just spilled on myself, by the way.
That's all right.
That's because-
You've had enough of that.
yeah,
But I think
delicious.
what you'll see originally is that the whiskey comes through really nicely.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
So
I'm sorry, I'm a degenerate. Late at night, I would throw a shot on top of this, like the nightcap.
you can
Yeah.
float whatever you want on
Yeah,
here.
put one on there.
The other thing, though, you got to remember, it is 12 and
It
a
is
half.
12,
So, the first sip, you're like, oh, yeah. But then if you
think
like
it's
like something a little bit more, you can.
I think it's a testament to the product that it's very well blended. You can taste the liquors in here. It's shocking to me. That is really amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
think
you're digging it.
no, I think everything is really good in here. I mean,
Scott would just buy a pack of the teas.
Yeah.
I know that's
No.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Scott, we'll start with you. If you rate your favorite. Your favorite's the tea?
my favorite's the tea. I gotta look at this right.
Sure. We got the
Right.
Greyhound. That's the vodka, grapefruit,
I
rosemary,
like the
elderflower.
grapefruit too.
The grapefruit was
That's the
delicious.
tea.
I like.
Peach mango tea.
All right, so we'll go like this. There we go.
Mhm.
Like,
There's the blood orange
We should do
margarita.
that
I'm
last.
just, yeah,
And the
I'm not a
whiskey
margarita
lemonade.
guy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as, like you say,
I like the margarita,
No.
but it's just not for me. I just don't drink.
And customers might. Scott, tell me what you would eat, like when you're eating. What on the menu do you think you would love for these for each cocktail?
So, okay, that's just, you're putting me on the spot. But I can do
Sorry.
it.
we put a little more
Okay.
in here.
All
See
of
that
them,
color?
all of them, I could have a taco with. Every single one of them.
Okay.
But let's
The
see,
Greyhound.
the Greyhound here. We have a Cajun chicken sandwich. I
can see that.
could go with that, with the Cajun chicken sandwich. All of them with the tacos.
There's one problem with this whole premise.
The margarita, the rice bowls. We have our shrimp rice bowls or chicken rice bowls. I could totally do that.
Your brother doesn't eat and drink simultaneously.
Here we go.
No, it's true.
Does your food not touch on the plate?
It's
No,
unbelievable,
no.
man. It doesn't take a sip of
So-
water. It doesn't do anything.
When
It's all
good-
about food.
when it's good food. It's all about the food, and then
And then have a drink.
I'll drink the whole thing right after. Wash it down.
Yeah, so that's why I asked the question, because I'm very
Yeah.
different. Like, so to me, I probably have the grapefruit. I do love the way Scott prepares his salmon, and I am a salmon snob. Because I can make my own salmon. So like when I go to a restaurant, I want it prepared perfectly. I always think it's prepared perfectly. So for me, I would be enjoying my salmon. Although I do love his cauliflower pizza too. So like I would be nursing the grapefruit all night. It's refreshing. And then I like his lighter fare options. But okay, Lupa, give me your favorite. Go take the little cans and put them in your order.
Listen, I'm pretty easy. Tea's gonna be last.
So my
Probably
first is
vodka.
so just understand. My first is his last. That's
Yep.
why we get along so well.
Yes.
Yep.
But I think that's personal preference
I think it's
more
really
than
first
more
and
than
second.
flavor.
Actually, yes.
All right. So you got to say what we're doing. I don't know if you're drunk already.
I never drink vodka out, but the vodka it almost shocked me that you could you kind of caught all the flavor notes in there.
Awesome.
The whiskey lemonade's delicious. I would pour a little extra whiskey on top. The blood orange margarita that's what I want when I'm eating Mexican food. I'm sorry.
So wait, Lupa, just give me, what was your first? You didn't give me your first.
Yeah.
The Greyhound.
Vodka.
Okay, that'd be my first.
Whiskey probably next. These are tied. I could drink those interchangeably. And then just not a tea person. Yes, perfect. Exactly.
Perfect. And Matt, what about you? Can I see you get you now? Your turn with the can.
Go. You got to go 1 to 4.
So you want me to rank my children?
I was about to say,
Yeah.
Everyone says they don't have a favorite child. I, without real children, will
definitely have a favorite child.
We'll make an allowance. Usually, my go-to is the blood orange margarita first. I think I just love that flavor. It's good. I like margaritas. I think that's the favorite. I'm not a huge tea drinker itself. I don't drink iced tea or anything generally. So that one's on the back burner for me. But then it's a question of what am I looking for? Do I want something a little lighter with the Greyhound in flavor or something a little heavier with the whiskey lemonade? But for me, these are interchangeable. And even though I don't like iced tea in general, I still drink these. And it's good. And I said I do like combining the two sometimes to play around with them. But if you would ask someone else in our company, they would arrange it like that. You know?
Listen, that's why you go to an ice cream parlor and there's lots of flavors, right? Like there's lots to choose from. It sounds like you have a good balance, and it sounds like everyone liked all of them. Like there wasn't no one didn't like any of them.
Yeah, they're excellent. My question is for you: is that like when you go with brands, like sometimes just like food or anything, things become popular. Like right now, like old fashions are really popular. But like if you get caught in that, like, oh, let's do an old fashioned
such a niche that you can
cocktail. But then 2 years later, old fashioned is so out of it. When I think about it, I think about like food. Remember cauliflower 2 years ago? Everyone wanted cauliflower on everything. Every dish had to have cauliflower. Now you put cauliflower on, it's not as popular.
No,
like people are like, can I get anything other than cauliflower?
Right.
So like things change so fast. How do you like stay ahead, but also not get caught being if you're 2 years ahead, not being 2 years behind?
That's a
sticking.
great question. Yeah.
That is a great question. So, some of the bigger companies can be slow to turn around and so forth. Some of the smaller companies can be more nimble. I say that having worked at Founders, and if there was an idea, it's like turning a big ship. You can't do it quickly. It's got to be a gradual turn because you got to source cans, you got to have design, you got to roll it out to the whole country. There's every distributor, there's a lot of it. When you're a smaller company, you can innovate. Innovate's the big word. You can innovate a lot more quickly and turn around and make some decisions. So I think we've talked about innovation, and we're looking if we are going to do something probably the back half of 2024. What we did do is choose what we think are 4 universal cocktails, and that none of these are seasonal. None of them are going to go out of style. They're all could be drank at any point during the year. And I think that's important for us as a small company. We want recognition. We want people to know what we're about, and keeping it consistent in the beginning is important to us. And then once we know, then we can play around with different things. Like we like espresso martinis. We've talked about it. There's a lot of those out there and they're going, but that's
like a fad.
Yeah, it was, and now it's back. But so maybe that makes sense. But does that make sense in a pack that we sell so much in the summertime? Maybe, maybe not. It depends. So, so we're thinking about that, and we're playing with different ideas and formulas and so forth. But what I think we have now is important because they're universal. They can be drank at any time. And as we expand to more markets, we want people to taste what we think is our best foot forward. But like, you talk to a new distributor, you go to a new area, they're like, okay, we love this variety pack. Is there going to be another one? Like you see, there's a million like High Noon, Statesides, like those variety packs. So they're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. For us, we have to be a little bit more methodical and meticulous. So I think we developed some really good flavors, and like we've been around since May of last year, but these guys are trying it for the first time. Yeah. So before we go to the next one, we want to make sure as many people as possible can try it.
Yeah. And I think that
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
There's 6 packs, there's 12 packs, there's 24 packs. and all of a sudden R2Ds are doing 8-packs. What is that?
RTDs, yeah. I don't know. I think it's part to stand out. For us, if we were to sell these individually skewed, like one flavor at a time, they come in 4-packs.
Okay.
So for us, it made sense to double the 4-pack into an 8-pack.
Okay.
And we're not leading the way, but we think an 8-pack made sense because you could get 2 of every cocktail. So it was kind of nice. It's harder if you have 4 flavors and do a 6-pack, right? And a 12-pack. That's a lot of alcohol at once, and that price point would be too high. So we're doing our best to keep it under 30 here in PA. It'll be more in Jersey because they have an excise tax, which is hard to get around. That makes everything a lot more expensive in Jersey with the liquor. But yeah,
I wanted to also say something, Cam, and John. I didn't mention this before, but Matt over here changed my business model at the Rap Shack.
oh really?
You ready for this one?
I can't wait.
Ready.
So,
I hope it's in a good way.
great way for me. So he used to drive me crazy when he worked for Shangy's about tap handles, because for tap handles, you'd have to, they would charge you $30 if you didn't give it back, deposit
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. And he would drive me crazy because I would forget to give him back the tap handles, and the higher ups need these tap handles and this and
We're
that.
selling cakes to
Yep.
other people.
Yep. And so he was driving me so crazy, and I love him, that I was just like, that's it. Never dealing with tap handles ever again. And it's all because of Matt. So
You know what? It's been a lot more convenient.
it's a lot more convenient. But if you know what I'm talking about, the tap handles, where if you go to a bar, they want to promote their brand. Rolling Rock would have that big rolling tap handle, so you can
For the
see it
draft
for the
system.
draft system.
By the the way, clean out the office at 18th Street. You probably had 600 tap
I had like
handles.
600 tap handles.
How much did you owe people?
Yeah, no, I owed a ton of money out there.
If those
No.
are $30 each, we could have been rich.
So, but because of Matt and Shaggers was the biggest sticklers on tap handles, I was like, I am done with tap handles. So he changed my model, and I'm a better man for it.
And I think, I mean, honestly, part of it is the PA law that like you need to have everything labeled for each thing. So the tap handles were important. But if you could give them like a little label or a number, and you have the blackboard, what everyone used to do was you have something on tap, and it would stay on tap, and your list wouldn't change. As more craft beers became available, you wanted to be more dynamic. So you have a blackboard or a piece of paper, or now a QR code, right? And you can change things, and it was a lot easier. And then that's less transactions, less things breaking, less you had to deal with, and hopefully made your life easier after that.
Well, all because of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
all because of you. But no, it was true though. I was thinking about that.
I think that, Matt, you said something that was really interesting, for us, is that at the Rap Shack, I really do love these things, because at the Morea side, it is amazing to watch their bartenders create art with their cocktails. And this is more like, it's created for you. And so like, you're at the Rap Shack's like a really fun place to watch the game and to order food and whatever, so I do see it there, and I think it's great. But you had mentioned something else, Matt, that I wanted to follow up on, because my brother and I and Lupa, we talk about this a bit, is, Pennsylvania and Philly, the laws that sometimes they interfere with business, and how that affects your sales, and how you guys find it to work in this atmosphere, and just your experience with Philadelphia restaurants.
So Pennsylvania was probably the worst state to start this business in.
That's what somebody said.
That's what I told Tammy today.
But it's our home state, so of course we're starting it here. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board has a monopoly because they are a government-run agency, and they are the largest single purchaser of alcohol in the country. So
Wow.
yeah, in terms of like, because it's collective for the whole state,
Right.
they're buying it, and then they have their own distribution network.
Can you just explain that a little bit further to somebody who doesn't really know what you mean by that?
Sure. Let me explain through. Are you a wine drinker at all?
I am.
You might
Okay.
need like 4 podcasts
No.
for this.
Yeah,
explanation. It is crazy.
I'll give you the short and sweet version in a way that's relatable to a lot of people. You go into the wine store, you can buy various wines, and for a long time it was only available there. Now you can get them in grocery stores.
Supermarkets, yeah.
The law change, but you can't get liquor in the grocery stores. But for the wine, you want to see the power of their purchasing, you might have heard of the chairman's selection, where you
Yes.
go in, you see things on discount, and they give you a description of everything. Well, that
Yes.
program was started by a guy named Jonathan Newman, who was in charge of the PLCB. It is their selection process, and what the power of the PA buying allowed them to do was he could go to smaller places that weren't selling all their wine but had good wine and say, hey, we're going to buy the rest of your lot. You sold 200 cases, you have 400 more for sale before you sell it. We're going to sell those, we're going to buy all 400 of them, and you're going to give it to us at a discounted price. And because of that, we're going to turn around and take what I think is a good product and get it to more people at a discounted price. So we're buying out your whole thing, and we're going to put it on sale because we got it for sale. And so now you have some of the best wines available at the least expensive price compared to the rest of the country because of PA's collective buying power. As a single store, you couldn't do that. But when you walk in and you see things on discount, and you saw Chairman's Selection, Chairman's Reserve, you used to know I was getting the best thing at the best time. Now, that guy has since been fired and was replaced with a political figurehead, and they use the buying power now to just buy whatever to get things a little bit cheaper, and you see more bigger brands on discount. But the whole idea is they're able to buy because they have so much collective power in their monopoly, and they set the price, and it's the same at every store across their 600 or so liquor stores in the Pennsylvania area. So you can't find that anywhere else. So that's part of their power. So hopefully that you understand like what that can do and what that allows and why it can be so good. Why it can be difficult is for us, we're a new product. They limit the number of stores you can get into. It's not each store's decision. It's one person who's making a decision or a board that you're presenting to. Things can get delisted. They have a certain price margin they need to get to, which is higher than others. If you're not selling enough, you get delisted. They kind of go through each season or quarter or year. I'm not exactly sure. We're new, so I'm still learning some of the rules myself. But some of the advantages of being produced in PA that the laws allow is self-distribute in Pennsylvania. So because we're produced in PA, can send our own people self-distribute, not work through a wholesaler. So that cuts the cost because a wholesaler will make their markup, right? When they sell beer, they're marking it up, say 25, 30%, and whoever else is then selling it. So that raises the price. Plus, we're dealing directly. So you cut out that middleman. So we're able to keep the price low on something that might cost a lot more if we've gone through a wholesaler. So
and then we can give a fair price to our customers at Morea and Rap Shack.
Correct. And so it's also good for us because while people have to buy our stuff at the state store, we are also allowed to do home delivery. So if you're based in Pennsylvania, you can order directly through us for the website, and we'll come and deliver it to your house really quickly, a full case. So you can get it at a really fair price as well. And then the last thing is there's a lot of breweries and wineries and cideries in Pennsylvania, and they have to carry, if they're a brewery, if they want to sell wine or liquor, they have to carry a Pennsylvania-based wine or liquor. So for us, we fit in really well. So if a person is selling just beer and now they have some options with cocktails, maybe the husband and wife, if one, the wife's the beer drinker and the husband likes cocktails or he doesn't want the beer, he can have a cocktail while she's having the beer. Or maybe you've had a few and then you want to change it up. Or someone who wouldn't come with you normally now can come with you, and they're making more money. They're keeping people there longer, and they're presenting more options. And it's not cannibalizing their beer sales. It's just adding to it. So breweries around here like Second District are Human Robots, so many in the suburbs out in Lancaster, our town, so many, Sly Fox, they know and they take advantage of this and they offer us there. So we do really well outside of the restaurants in this system. So there are positives and negatives to the PA liquor law. So hopefully that was
anything. Yes, I get it. I get it. So listen, it's exciting. The guys gave it 2 thumbs up.
Thank you so much. Great. It was excellent. Really appreciate it.
And thank you for taking the time. Thanks for taking the time. And we hope that we've been all enjoying some delicious cocktails and some delicious food at either the Rap Shack or Morea. And hopefully, we've got a game. I think it's a game tonight. We have an Eagles game tonight. So let's, cheers to that. And thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to try.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have been wonderful, and this is a real pleasure. So thank you.
Yes, it's really fun. And, you guys I would suggest to anybody who's listening, I guess this is not going to air tonight, but I would say come down tonight because I think John and Scott might be a little buzzed at this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
John won't be here, but I will be here.
So maybe it's best it's not airing tonight. But maybe, Scott, you should probably have a delicious sandwich to soak up that alcohol at either the Rap Shack or Morea. But that's it for today, guys. And what I love about it is that it's local and it's Philly, and we all like to support each other, and that you guys are selling a great product. And I hope that people enjoy it at Morea and the Rap Shack soon. So thanks so much. We are thrilled to have you, and see you soon.
Excellent.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us today for Organized Mayhem Podcast. Check us out on YouTube, X, our website, rapshackpa.com, and moreaphilly.com for updates. Once again, welcome to the Mayhem.